Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to cloud test lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
You got the set representation, you can make use of iterable interface, which provides an iterator method, or else you can go for each method. So here we have seen the methods like add and remove, but here we don't have add and remove. We'll be having like put and get. The put method is used to put the data into the collection, and the get method, it accepts a key. The key can be, you can pass a normal primitive data type, or you can make use of any of the non-primitive data types like the objects which we have seen with respect to asset or tree set. And remove of key, this is used to remove the key value pair from the map. Whenever you say remove of key, it will verify whether the key was available in the list or not, and it will try to remove that key value pair from the map. Yeah, TreeMap also, it stores the data in terms of a tree structure. Map consists of two generic parameters which are comma separated. The first one is a key and the next one is the corresponding value. Sorry. So let us take an example. I want to create a hash map of integer comma string. So I just want to store the data in terms of key value pair, and my keys are like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll store the corresponding names like Steven, let us go and write an example. I'll send the class file, Jitin, if you want to verify further. Okay, take hash map. So I want to use integer as my key and the corresponding key value. Just take the same structure for creating the object as well. So now to put the elements onto the collection map, you just need to use a method called put. You can see that the put method accepts two parameters. The first one is key and the next one is value. And you can also verify that by default it will specify integer as key and string as value. The reason for that is you have created a hash map collection with integer and string, and the put method is also a generic method, and the data types will be replaced by the typed parameters that you have mentioned with respect to your reference variable. So currently I'm passing the integer as 10 and the value as Steven. Similarly put 3 more values, 20, 30, Chris, Lee, Pankaj. Finally, I'm directly printing the hash map. We'll see how to iterate in further steps. I'm directly printing the hash map object. So Java will call the toString method and it will provide you the exact representation of the elements instead of the hash code value. So here you can see that I'm inserting the key twice, inserting the same key. 10 I inserted with Steven, and 10 I'm again inserting with Pankaj value. So at this time, the hash map understands that hash map, whenever it is trying to put the key, any kind of map, it will first verify whether the key was already available within the map or not. So from the time onwards, it will just think this as an update to the existing key. So the 10 Steven, which was available in the map, the value Steven will be replaced by the value Pankaj. So once a key was available within the map, and whatever the changes that you are making, even though if you are trying to add newly, hash map understands that you are trying to change the value, and it will simply update the existing value corresponding to the key. "20 Chris," which is this one, 10 Pankaj, this one, 30 Lee. You can see that whatever 10 Steven, it wasn't added also. The reason for that is if you print at this level, you'll see the corresponding value 10 Steven, and once after you have added 10 Pankaj again to the map understands that you are trying to update the existing key value, corresponding to the key 10, and it will simply replace the Steven with respect to Pankaj.
Chris?
Yep.
This is Vijay. Is there any way we can override it and throw as an exception that there was a what do you call it, integrity concern, something like that?
I didn't get you. If at all, if you are using the same key again?
Oh, yeah, I want to throw an exception.
Let me take a look at the API. util.map. Or else you have the method like contains key. So before that, you can just verify whether the key was available or not. Whenever you are trying to add, let us say if you are trying to insert like this, you first verify whether the key 10 was available or not. If it was already available, write a custom exception saying that key was already available.
Okay.
The method was not available directly within our map interface. Okay.
What is the difference between contains key and contains value?
No, I'm going to explain one by one now. So the first one, take a look at the API. The map interface consists of several other methods. We'll take a look at some of the important ones. The contains key method, I just explained, it will verify whether the key was available or not. If it was already available, it will return a true value, or else it will return a false. The contains value map is a key value pair. But all if you pass Steven, it will verify whether the value was available or not, and it will return only the status whether it was available or not. Even if the duplicates are available for the values, because only keys are unique, you can have duplicate values, no issues. That won't override the existing key or value. Only difference is your key should be unique, and the value, it's just like a corresponding value for your key, and based on the get method passing the key, let us say I want to verify whether the key hashmap dot get of 10. You can see that I have passed get of 10, and corresponding to 10, the value was Pankaj. Let us say I'm passing 40, which was not available within the hash map. Whenever you are asking some key which was not available within the hash map or map collection, it will simply return a null value specifying that it was not available. And the remove method, we have discussed about that. And the important one is entry set method. The entry set method, it will return you a set representation of the entire map. The key set method, it will return you a set representation of all the keys. Set representation of all the keys. Let us write that. So take hashmap dot key set. I'm calling key set method, and the return value is set of keys. So what is the data type for key? The data type for key is integer. So normally we'll get a set value. Let us write set and import that. And here set is also a generic data type. And when you call key set method, it will return you a collection of all the keys in the form of set. So that means the set is also a generic data type. It can be specified within a generic data type, and the data type will be integer. The reason for that is from the hash map, I have the set of all the integer keys. So now if I go on print the set representation of keys. Set representation of keys, it will only provide keys from my hash map. You can see that 20, 10, 30. The next one is entry set method. Entry set method, it will provide you the set representation of the whole map. So currently the key set, it will only provide you the set representation of keys, but the entry set method, it will provide you, whenever you call entry set on your hash map, it will provide you the set representation of the whole map. Let us take an example to explain this. So here, this is my hash map. You can see that I have 5 values, 5 key value pair within my hash map.
Krish? 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 Krish?
So I have represented our map here in the diagram, the key value pair. So currently, let us assume that I have inserted 5 key value pairs to my hash map. There is one another class which is map.entry, which represents a single key value pair from the map. We have discussed about map interface. Map.entry, let me write it here. Map.entry. Entry is an inner class, map class. I ask you guys to take a look at inner class. Briefly, I will tell what is meant by and what is how to declare the inner class. Inner class is also just like a member of external or outer class. Until now, we have seen the members as properties or methods. But a class can also consist of let us say it consists of int data and some public setter methods or getter methods. In the same way, it can also consist of another class declaration, just like this. Inner class, again, it consists of certain private variables, and it can also consist of some public methods. So inner class is also just like a member of outer class. So whenever it is a member, it has the access to all the private variables and all the methods. So the inner class has access to private variables as well. It can easily access the data variable within any of the public methods. It got the private data, which means the upper level like protected, public, default, all are accessible within inner class. But one restriction with respect to inner class is inner class won't be available without outer class. So that means first you need to create an outer class object, and after that you need to create inner class object by using outer class only. So here you can see that whenever you are trying to refer to inner class, you should specify by, or you should specify with respect to outer class only. So that's the reason I have specified the entry class with respect to map class, just like map.entry class. If you take a look at the map.entry. Now you need to verify the toggle. Java.util.map.entry. You can see that the dollar sign after the map, you'll see normally inner classes they'll be specified as $entry when it is generating the .class file. This is with respect to the .class file, not required for us, but just for our understanding. So here you can see that there are certain methods like getKey and getValue. These two are the important methods. The getKey, currently what we have mentioned about map.entry class, it will just represent a row from your hash map. So in our current diagram, the map.entry represents at first it can represent any kind of stuff, any kind of key value pairs, just like 1, Chris, 2, Steve, 3, Chen, 4, Lee, 5, Steve. So at any point of time, when you specify map.entry, it will just recommend or it will just point to one entry of your hash map. It is nothing but 1, Chris. I'm just taking the first row as our example. When you call the entry set method, let us say on your hash map, when you call the entry set method, it will return you a set representation of your map.entries. So currently you can see that each and every row will be represented by a map.entry. So that means when you say a set representation, it will only provide a set representation of all the map.entries. And map.entry is nothing but a single row, single key value pair. So when it was converted in the form of set, you can see that a set representation of map.entries, and I just pointed like this one corresponding to E1 object, and this one corresponding to E2 object, this one E3, and so on. So each object from the set, once you have converted into the set, you can just make use of iterator. Or you can make use of the for each loop, and you can retrieve one by one entry. But the one by one entry from the set, it will be pointed to a map.entry because we have stored the data in terms of map.entry object. See here, in set also I can store any kind of objects. We have just seen how to store the objects within our hash set or tree set. In the same way, I can also store the data in terms of map.entries as well. And when I say go and get the first one, it will retrieve you a map.entry. So currently, if you take a look at the map.entry, it will retrieve you what is the key pair here? Integer, comma, string. That is the representation of each entry in our set. But when you say a set representation of whole map.entries, let us say you are converting from this level to this level. So that means what is the return type? It will be a set representation, and within the set you will have map.entries, and map.entry is of type integer, comma, string. So you just need to understand like that. If at all, if you take a look at the big syntax, you won't be able to understand this. The first thing is, whenever you call entry set method, it will return you a set representation of map.entries. You can see that a set with an open brace map.entry list, and the map.entry is also a generic type, and each entry will be of type integer comma string. So that's also you are supposed to specify within your Angular braces. This syntax is allowed. You can place any kind of generics, any number of generics within your representation. Let us comment this. Let us go and call hashmap dot entry set method. The return value for entry set is a set representation. So here the set will be of type map.entry. Again, map.entry is of type integer comma string. Now you are able to represent the hash map in terms of set. So when you are able to represent in terms of a normal collection, you have the access to the for each. So for each, the syntax will be, I need to specify the collection on the right side. And here I need to specify the individual element type. What will be the individual element type? It will be the map.entry. So the map.entry, and I need to specify the generic type as well. So when I'm expecting one element from the set, it will be of type map.entry because it is a set of map.entry. So currently I'm able to retrieve one map.entry that was available within my element map entries. So now if you go and take a look at the API for map.entry, it consists of two methods. One is get key and get value. So you can simply call get key, which will provide you the key representation. Key is of type integer. And in the same way, the value, which is of type string, you can simply print the key value pair. So this time I'm not going to print like this. So now you can see that we are able to retrieve the individual keys as well, and we are able to retrieve the corresponding values as well. If at all, if you got the key, no need to go for this kind of approach also. You can just go on hashmap dot. Your hashmap has a get method, and you can easily pass the key, and you can retrieve the value based on that string value equal to. But anyway, when you are retrieving from the map.entry, you'll be going to get both. You'll be going to get both key and the corresponding value that will be represented by your map.entry. So normally this is the only way that we have the access to our for each or iterator method. to iterate through the elements of hash map.
Wish?
Yeah.
I have a quick question. So if you have like the first example you gave in the beginning of the class about first name, last name, salary, and age or whatever, can we have some that type of this thing in this one, or can we have only two values?
Oh yeah, we are going to discuss with respect to TreeMap about that.
Okay, sure. So this is useful only when there is a key and a value, that's all, right?
Yeah, if we want to store the data in terms of key value pair, then we'll go for a map.
Okay.
Let us copy the same code and we'll switch to TreeMap. The TreeMap will store the data in terms of key value pair, and it will also follow to store the data in natural sorting of the elements, or if you have mentioned some comparable interface kind of stuff, it will make use of that. Just change this to TreeMap instead of hash map.
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website H2Kinfosys.com. On our website H2Kinfosys.com, you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.